Welcome everybody to Skull Hunter Podcast. That is right, the one podcast you get all your gaming news at that's not legitimate but trustworthy. Join your host today is me, Jordan, and join us today we have Joseph and we got Charles and the guy who's back, James. Oh my God, look at you, James, man.
That was about time, and it's good to see you.
Okay, James a little shy, but he's back, guys. It's so great to have you back, James. But he's dealing with his microphone or whatever. So how are you guys doing? How's my boys doing?
Not bad. Took the week off just to recharge the batteries, think about what I want to do, and because those of you who listened to last week's episode know that I'm not with my company any longer. So it's been a week, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I spent a good chunk of today just writing out an application for the place that I want to apply to, while also setting up, okay, what's plan B, what's plan C, what's plan D, what's plan E, and that's it.
Okay.
When I get to plan E and none of them work, then I'm just gonna.
You don't need that many letters in the alphabet.
No. But things should be sorted out by E. Otherwise, I don't know. I think I'd go.
You'd have the plan all the way up to Z, like Plankton and SpongeBob.
Hey, you know what? At least that man was prepared for failure. Unfortunately, he never got his success. But Plankton, he was a guy though. He was a guy. But no, that's definitely cool. And like it was stated last episode, there's no bad blood or anything. With all that, it's just Joseph wanted to do something new, and the boy's on a journey. He's on a journey, and now he has a TikTok. So who knows? Might be seeing. Yeah, some stuff
I
there.
was. I thank you for participating in it and everything, because I check my notifications, that's Jordan. He says things. And, some of his proofread, some of it not so much, but I appreciate that. I really do. And so Jen and I, real quick about the TikTok. So Jen and I, we were downtown. It's the year of the Tagger. She wanted to find some decorations, just whatever downtown happened to be doing. And I noticed that there was it was like a line presentation or a parade, and it's coming down the road, and I'm like, okay, I don't have much time, but I can do this. So I quickly turned on my camera and tried to do a bit where I'm like, oh, I'm missing something in the background. Like, oh, I can't find a Tim Hortons. Where is it? And while I'm just dumbfounded trying to find a Tim Hortons, this once in 12 years, frankly, because Chinese Zodiac goes parading behind me. So that was fun. The fun thing about doing TikTok videos is seizing an opportunity in that exact moment, because I had 10 seconds to figure out what the hell I was going to do, and I actually appreciate that spontaneity.
Dude, that was amazing. I watched it about 3 times because I was like, wait, is this... At first I watched it and went, I know that guy. And then I watched it again and I was like, is this scripted? And then I watched it again and I was like, this was perfect. It was a perfect 10 seconds of just oh, where is this place? And the parade's happening behind you, and it's you have no idea what's going on. It's great. His TikTok link will be in the description if anyone wants to go check it out. It might just pop up on your For You page. But
hope so.
I hope so too.
Randomly popped up on my YouTube feed earlier, figuring that giant anime thing that Joseph used to be part of. They uploaded a video though where Joseph was playing a game or something.
No, that was me.
Giant Enemy Company is him.
Yeah. I'm still the one uploading the videos.
Yeah, it's.
I used to upload it. I still do, but I used to too.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Giant Enemy Company is him. It's the e-commerce
so Giant Enemy Company is the big company.
Podcast is the company he worked for.
Is the thing?
Yeah. That we don't need to mention the name anymore. Not because we have bad blood. We ain't stirring up drama, but if we want to stir up some drama, we got drama to talk about. Let me talk. TikTok is not the only thing we're going to be discussing today. But I want to hear from Charles first. How's your week been? You little Halo lover, you? How's your weekend been?
It's been alright, and just been doing my thing with YouTube and everything. And I watched the NASCAR race the other day that I did a live stream reaction to. I was reacting live to it. Nice. It wasn't really much to that race, even though it was the first one of the newly built track they built in LA, which actually sucked because I was expecting such a small track. I expected a lot more wrecks than what. And I freaking hate the douchebag that freaking won, but And I got my girlfriend a Valentine's Day present that she really likes, and she's been playing it for a couple days now. I got a Pokemon sword. Get your freaking mind out of the gutter, you perv.
Oh man, James, how do you feel about this? That's exactly what I thought. Oh my god. Like I don't, man, it's just happy Valentine's Day. When this comes out, it's Valentine's Day, even though we'll do a whole entire podcast, about Valentine's or whatever. But my mind immediately thought to something else. She's been playing with it and she really loves it. So my mind just went down in the holes for sure. But yeah, my week was good. My week was so much better when I was browsing through TikTok, minding my own business, and I see someone make a comment saying, GTA 6 has been leaked. I said, what? GTA 6? It's a lie. We've been hearing this all the time. There's Easter eggs in the sand of Los Santos. Like, we see it all the time. We keep getting little glimpses and all this stuff. It's actually true. Rockstar has officially leaked out that GTA 6 is coming in the years of 2024 and 2025. So GTA 5 was made in 2013, and we are finally 100%. Rockstar has announced they will be making GTA 6 finally. Now, will this be in the next year? Will it be this year, or will it actually end up being 2025? How I got those numbers is IGN and Comic Book has both announced that more than likely that's when we're going to see it, because GTA releases a date, or they have their release date that they don't tell anyone until it's like right in the middle of it, and then they're like, hey, so we're going to release it then. But they when they announce stuff, it's always like a year or two beforehand before we actually see results. So kind of like Halo Infinite, or Cyberpunk, for a cool example of that. Let's hope it's not the same outcomes as it. But GTA 6 has finally been announced. Guys, what are your opinions on GTA 6? Finally will be coming to a console near you.
It's about fucking time, and hope it doesn't fucking suck!
Okay, have you played GTA 5 though?
Nope.
Well said, James. Exactly. Joseph, how do you feel?
When we were covering topics, the thing that really surprised me is just how long it's been since GTA 5 came out. We saw a 2013 release.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming up on 10 years, and yet GTA 5 still feels relevant.
Yep.
To me, that game still seems like it's going to be popular on streaming. I still see YouTube videos for it. It still pops up on TikTok. My girlfriend just played through it recently.
Nice.
And the design of it has held up after all these years. So I'm happy to see that it's coming back, because I do have a lot of respect for the series, even if it's not been on like my main like to-do list in terms of what to play.
People still freaking play GTA 5 is because the freaking YouTubers have played and are streaming it to this day.
But that also shows it's a good game though, because it has those streamers constantly playing it. And now they're doing role playing on it. So they made these custom servers that can fit like 100 people on there. And now you can actually role play as like a police officer, as just a normal guy, as just pedestrian or a fire department. Like you can now role play as this. And now they did this. Now Rockstar's like, let's finally give it to them. They made our game even better. Let's now give them something else. So no more Red Dead. Now we're getting an actual GTA 6. So
you're saying that in this role-playing server, I can pretend to be one of those NPCs that just walks down the sidewalk?
And
Hey,
Jordan
watch
probably
where you're
live
going.
out his fantasy of being Magic Mike.
hey, you know what, bro? I'll get on that poll. But yeah, 100% though.
I think,
You
I
can.
don't think any guy would like mind being Magic Mike.
No, that guy making bang, dude. I'll be magic.
moonlighting?
I'll take my shirt off right now. Who got $20? Like, I'll do it. I don't care. But yeah, you are 100% right. People will get on the server and literally could be an NPC that get ran over. And then one of the ones I saw that was from a Twitch streamer, they were role playing, and once he dies, you literally can't play for like 24 hours or something. Like when you die, you can't respawn back in for a while. So I thought that was interesting. Now, I bet there's other ones that are different, or maybe they have different roles and stuff like that. But I mean, it still is one of the top 5 Twitch games that people stream. So the fact that GTA, or not GTA, but Rockstar is finally announcing that we're getting a GTA 6, I'm kind of curious if those Easter eggs that were like on a beach towel and stuff like that, if any of those are actually gonna come true. So I want to know, where do we think the new GTA 6 will be taking place at?
Oh, huh. Well, there's nothing stopping them from using one of the previous locations that they wanted to.
Nope.
They love doing Liberty City,
Mhm.
which is New York. What else did they do? They did San Andreas, which I think was not only GTA San Andreas, but this is where my knowledge drops off. But like, wasn't San Andreas also a part of GTA 5?
Every location that was in previous GTA games was in 5, including Los Santos.
Okay, so again, they're both like California. So, and then there's Vice City, well, which is I guess Miami, Florida. So you have to think like, what's a big enough city center? Well, then again, they don't need to necessarily just make a city anymore. Now they have more open areas too. So you might think like, what state would be a good one? So I'm gonna go a little niche with my guess and say New Orleans.
Ooh.
Like a more of a Cajun vibe to it. The Bayou Swamp. So here they do more like boating stuff.
Up by fucking gators.
Yeah. So that'll be my guess. I'm gonna go New Orleans.
Charles, what about you? Where do you think the next GTA 5 or GTA 6 location will be?
Canada.
I love that. You put some thought into this, Joseph, and Charles will come out Canada, be on a bunch of snow plows the whole entire time.
Honestly, I would like to see it like freaking in like New York or some shit.
And I hate to say this. I hate to say it like this. I have a feeling they're going to do this purposely to irritate everyone. I have a feeling it's going to be in California.
Sure, it's not going to be like freaking Britain or something.
I was going to think like maybe another country, but I'm like, what would they do that would totally not make anyone think about it? They might leave the country to do Britain. That could make sense because they do a lot of crossovers and stuff. But now it's like, but what would be the one thing that Rockstar could do that would blow everyone's minds away? Make a bigger California map. That would just blow everyone's mind. Like, actually make a bigger map for it instead of having it surrounded by the ocean. Make a bigger map and then actually be able to extend on states and stuff like that. Or maybe add back in San Andreas and give you travel locations to go to. Like, maybe you can go in a fast travel and then go to Florida and then New York, and then they can add on other states where they don't have to change their game ever again, but they have a massive spot to begin. So they can literally say, hey guys, California, but you can also now travel back without breaking the game to Florida, and you get to go to New York, and then they can add on this stuff. And they were doing a lot of testing with that kind of feature with the newest update that happened, where Dr. Dre got involved and was helping them do stuff. You fly to an island in Hawaii, and you start doing stuff over there. What's that?
They advertise those freaking Beats headphones you used to sell.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they kind of did with it, but the reason I think they're just going to stay in California and like kind of expand from that is just because, once again, it took almost 10 years for us to finally get an official announcement from Rockstar stating this is coming. So that's...
And they probably still have the copyright freaking claim to freaking Tupac, California Love, whatever that song was.
Let's be honest, they probably paid for that. They probably paid for a license for it and then just kind of let that drama sit there, make people wonder.
And I also think, too, that they have a more specific arrangement because they have to get a lot of music for the radio. And it's all commercial radio. So whatever it is they're doing, there's a smart bulk package that they must be signing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a Midnight Club.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. But...
Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You're good.
I was just saying that, thinking I was watching a dude play GTA 3 a couple days ago, and thinking he was listening to Fred Durst keep rolling, thinking, and I'm surprised that thinking he didn't get I'd be amazed if he didn't get a copyright claim on that.
Unfortunately, that stuff does happen. There was games for a while you couldn't stream, and even right now, because of Twitch's new DMCA rules, you still can't stream some games. Is because some of them have a licensed music in that the bots that run Twitch will catch, and then you have to argue with it, and then that might not even go through because Twitch isn't a reliable platform. Unfortunately, they just kind of throw stuff off to the side and just take a word for it, and that's kind of what they do. Now, I'm not bashing Twitch at all. I'm definitely not, but I'm just saying that unfortunately it's ran by bots. So if I played Midnight Club, for an example, and Low came on, that rap song from like Step Up or Shake It Up or whatever it was, starts coming on, I'm gonna end up being screwed because I know Twitch would catch it. I know Twitch would be like, whoa, you playing a royalty free or not a royalty free music, so gotta cut that. And unfortunately, they strike you immediately. They don't ask questions, they immediately hit you because of the DMCA. It's just what happens.
At one time on Twitch, I saw a dude thinking somehow live streaming a Guitar Hero game.
I mean, it's risky. It's definitely risky, but I guarantee when the stream was done, he probably had to deal with some issues there. Or maybe it catches it, it picks it up and goes, oh, this is Guitar Hero with licensed songs, and maybe it's a different way. Like, it's an algorithm that picks all this up, so I don't know how all that works, but it could immediately see Guitar Hero and going, oh, we can't DMCA this. I mean, we can't do it, and it might just fall right off. I mean, I don't know.
The sad thing is, the guy only had like 8
I'm
viewers.
just speculating, but maybe there's tags involved where it'll check if there's a tag for like Guitar Hero, and then it'll respond to different tags differently.
See, that's
then
what
somebody
I'm
could exploit that pretty easily by saying, "Oh yeah, here's my GTA stream hashtag Guitar Hero 3."
I mean, you could try that. Viewers, you're more than welcome to try that on Twitch and see what happens. I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
The sad part is that it was Guitar Hero 3, and that's my favorite one.
Last time I played Guitar Hero, no joke, was in a Walmart, inside of Walmart, where they had the stands and stuff sat up there, and you can get on the drums, and the guitar was missing a green button or a red button. You're just like, cool. Like, I remember those days. They used to do that. Now, I doubt you.
You can't do that because people will be jacking that shit.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I miss those days.
Real life Grand Theft Auto.
They were getting ready for GTA 6. They knew it was going to be a while. They had to start prepping for it. But do we have any last final thoughts about the new GTA 6 coming out, and maybe some worries we have with it moving on?
Hopefully it won't be a Cyberpunk situation.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Yeah, I give that a low chance, but I'll give it some chance.
Good, and your camera's fucking up.
Not for me.
No, but it is for me too. It just glitched out.
High chance it's my internet. There's a high chance that's probably what it is.
That is unfortunate, but okay. Well, for the duration that Missing No is with us, we'll just we'll just keep this going.
Okay, James, your opinions. That's what I thought, man. That's what I thought.
Okay, hang on. So hang on. Here's the one thing that I want to say about it before we move on.
Yeah.
One of the things that I remember about you're back, by the way. One of the things that I remember about the GTA series is they've had some pretty pivotal moments in gaming history. Like Grand Theft Auto 3 was a pretty significant upgrade from Grand Theft Auto 2, because at that time it was just top down, like 2D, and that game was a huge deal for the PlayStation at the time. And I would say like Vice City was a good quality spin-off. San Andreas is probably the next one, just to show that they're willing to start expanding the game series, and it's not just going to be a cityscape anymore. Now we're going to have other locations too, and skydiving and weightlifting.
Gay Tony sucked and Lost and Damn freaking pretty much got buried because they killed the freaking main character you played as in the beginning of GTA 5. Spoiler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then for It got rated highly, but it doesn't stand out the same way 5 does because of the multi-character. So they do have some impetus to try to do something new and crazy and inventive, which is why I think that VR is going to play a big role in this. I think that with the release date of 2024, possibly 2025, I think they'll have some time to work out their kinks with virtual reality. And players historically have been pretty forgiving of Grand Theft Auto for not having perfect mechanics. Their shooting mechanics needed work in the past. Driving was always pretty good, but things didn't always work out exactly the way they might have worked on a more focused game. But players typically don't care because Grand Theft Auto brings so much entertainment. The storytelling is always funny. The writing is always top notch. Lots of great music. There's so much variety that even if they were pure quantity over quality, they would be fine. But they still inject a lot of good quality into their stuff anyway. So that's what I think. I think they're going to go for it, and I think someone has to break through the mainstream consumer barrier and get VR really rolling. And I think they're going to be the ones to do it. Them or Bethesda on the next Elder Scrolls. Definitely.
Again,
one way or
Ready
another,
Player-
Elder Scrolls will be VR.
I
But
would.
if GTA comes first, they'll be the first to do it.
We're going figure Ready Player One up in this bitch.
Yay. I'm sorry.
That would honestly, I think you could be onto something, but I'm also trying to think like, but I'm trying to think. We have that one VR game that people are playing that you have a ton of people. You could choose your own avatars and stuff like that in. So we already have that. I think there's a high possibility of what you're saying could actually happen, and they could venture in more to the VR side for GTA
basically-
6.
Basically, we're going full Ready Player One.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
don't actually get the reference, so I'm just gonna kind of go with it.
It's a Spielberg, well, pretty sure it's a Spielberg film. And it was also a book. It's about
Yeah.
I don't read.
about people who live in virtual reality because reality sucks.
So like dot hack.
And the reason why I like that movie is because in the freaking one scene that's probably like towards the end of the movie, there's a bunch of characters. You can like, if you ever show up by, you can actually see certain ones that are like blinking, you miss it. Like, they even have freaking Spartans from Halo in there, and a
That's-
Warthog. I think.
I don't quite remember. But I think that would be a cool experience for GTA, especially if they were to get it in VR. I really think more than likely they're probably gonna do something out of country though, just because of probably need to change scenery. But I would love it to be in Louisiana though. Absolutely would love it.
The
wow.
only reason why I oppose that of them taking outside of the States is that Grand Theft Auto has always been about Americans criticizing themselves, showing the excesses of certain lifestyles, like with Vice City, like with San Andreas. It's taking the perspective of, say, like an immigrant coming to America from GTA 4. So I am confident that they're going to stick to the States because that series has always been about taking the piss out of U.S. culture.
You know what? That's 100% true. I never really thought about it on that note. I was just thinking of how it could change the game. So you bring a lot of actual good points in. So I
It's just sad that
think I'm gonna be right though. I think I'm gonna be right with
But yeah, if
starting
they
in
bring it to the UK,
California
then
and,
there's
like,
gonna
doing that
good luck
stuff.
not having any guns.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So my idea, so the idea of like going to the UK would definitely not work. Then I didn't even think about that part. So I'm probably gonna end up. I hope I'm right with the going around the country though. Whereas like they're just gonna use the ones that already exist and just revamp them. I hope they do that one. Audience, let us know in the comment section what you will think will come out of the GTA 5 new game, where the location will be. I would love to hear your feedback.
I'm just gonna laugh if it does come out in 2025 because that's the year Black Ops 2 is set in, and it's also just funny that freaking GTA 6 got announced finally before freaking Half-Life 3.
You know, what I can't wait for is this Elder Scrolls does become VR. That would be, I don't know if it's already in the makings, but oh my god, I would play that.
How could it not be in VR? Like,
See-
I just don't know how they're not thinking about that.
Like, if it's not, it needs to be. I like, honestly, you said that, and my mind went, oh my god, imagine the content that can be made with that. Because already you have that one fighting game in VR that you can just start bashing people's heads in with a chicken. So I'm like, imagine that in Elder Scrolls. Like, I would buy it. $100 easily. I would 100% buy it. What, Charles?
You can even buy a video game for freaking chicken abuse.
100%. Dude, I'll eat out a Chick-fil-A. You think I am not gonna play a game I can't beat a chicken? Dude, I will smack the out of a chicken. Let me tell you.
Have you guys ever had Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh,
Enjoy
yeah.
Mike's beating his
Yeah.
meat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I like beating the chicken's meat. Let's be specific here. No,
Yeah, we
honestly,
don't want to accidentally give anybody any gifts.
no, Chick-fil-A's great. I don't abuse animals. I just eat them. So
Those are expensive as fuck.
they are a little bit pricey, but I would also pay $20 for a good pizza. So I mean, I'm looking at my stuff going, it's that expensive though. But speaking of some things real quick. So an expensive thing that keeps happening is TikTok continuing to dump money into their stuff. And this ain't a topic that I can really share links to, but I don't want to roll off the TikTok side. So TikTok has algorithms that we all care and love for. There are certain words you cannot say. There are words on there that you cannot state. If you do, your TikTok could be banned, shut down, or taken down the video, or had the video muted.
That's YouTube.
Let's play a game.
Oh man.
Let's play a game on what word you
I
can't
promised
say
myself
on
I wouldn't
TikTok.
open up any more cans of worms on the
Okay,
show.
Jigsaw.
But
Let's play a game.
let's open
No.
some worms.
Let's open up some worms and play some games. So, what is one word? And it could be any word. Just don't say the N word. If you do, just say the word N word. What word do you think TikTok will not let you say on camera?
Joe Rogan.
Fuck, ball, dicks, pussy, taint, ass.
I love Joseph's answer because I swear that's good. I've never heard his name on a TikTok. I probably just haven't looked, but I've never heard his name on TikTok. Charles, you're actually 100% wrong. You can say all those things on TikTok. 100%.
That means I can get away with calling somebody pussy ass bitch.
Well, that's so. I made 2 videos that has gotten muted or taken down. One, we used the pussy word, and I'm not going to repeat all of them, but we used that. It got okay. But if you say vagina, they will go no, and they take it down.
Really?
100%.
What the freak?
You can say boobs. You can't say titties.
What?
I made a TikTok today, and we used the words titty.
I just connected like here's how I know all of these things. So I said vagina, I said titties.
Because
I don't know about I don't know about vagina. I'm gonna have to be extra careful when I talk
Opposite
about Mexican food on my TikToks.
Like they're doing the complete opposite. The ones you're supposed to say instead of the ones that get blocked, the ones you're not supposed to say, the ones you can say. It's like,
see,
what the frick kind of
that
backwards
makes no
shit is there?
sense. This is the problem with TikTok, is it makes no sense. And this is the reason I'm mad about it. It's because me and Chad were pretending to be frat boys playing Dead by Daylight. And everything was okay until it got to the word vagina. And then it said, whoa, we can't have this. Okay,
Really is
cool.
YouTube. It really is YouTube.
And then I said, okay, let me try. Let us sit there and start bleeping things out. They left everything in, but when I said vagina, and then they're like, okay, no. So I went, okay, you can't say vagina on there. Then today I made a post, and it was me and my friend Christy talking about titties. Talking about I need to get me a set of titties. They didn't like that at all. So if you walk up to a woman, you shouldn't do this, but if you were to walk up to a woman, don't call them titties, call them udders. You could probably get away with it. When you
That's
go
even
up to
worse.
a woman and say, girl, you got some nice titties. No, you say udders. Because
It's like
that
calling
won't get
somebody
banned
a
on
cow.
TikTok.
You're calling a freaking female a cow. That's offensive.
But the TikTok, it's okay. But in real life, you're gonna get shot.
Now, scientifically, it's accurate, but you still shouldn't say it.
You shouldn't say it. And so then I'm like, okay, what else can get banned? I had a guy on TikTok who said he used another word, I don't know, ding-a-ling. He said ding-a-ling because he didn't want to use the word dick, even though that could be someone's name. He said ding-a-ling to get past it so no one would be offended. TikTok took it down. And he's like, I even said the better thing, but I can say penis, I can say dick, but I can't say ding-a-ling. You tell me why.
It's like just giving some reverse world shit.
So, because TikTok is great and has a perfect algorithm, how do you guys feel about it?
Sounds like the kind of place I need to start heading towards.
Okay, Joseph.
I think this is why I'm glad I made a promise to myself that, like, as far as YouTube goes and as far as social media goes, I will use this stuff as a hobby and to try to, boost my platform, but I'm just going to focus on making what I want to make. And if the algorithm treats me well, great. If not, it's not going to be my career because I just, I'm not in the state of mind to play these games. But TikTok right now doesn't have any alternatives. There are other alternatives being built for these other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sure.
and of course, I missed out on Vine as my TikTok name suggests.
Rest in peace.
So, I'd have to go back to what, IG Reels or YouTube Shorts.
Yep.
And oh my God, I just don't like YouTube Shorts on, because you know what it is. And I'm sorry, because I'm going on to your channel, and I'm so used to just seeing the thumbnail array. And so when I go there and it's all the shorts, and I'm like, this is really bringing down the visual for people's channels.
Yep.
So this whole video format, by the way, I call them verticals now because there's they're verticals.
Yeah.
So we'll see where the vertical format goes from here, but I'm thankful for the warning. Like I may have, for one reason or another, used vagina in a video at some point. Not yet. I'm just saying, like, in the future it might come up. So it's weird to me that it would that word would be targeted like that.
See, it's so weird. And once again, and we all got to remember this though, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, freedom of speech doesn't exist. And people have this idea that, we can say what we want because it's freedom of speech. That's not the case. TikTok, YouTube, everything else has the right to say, you can't say this and we can take action from it. So once you get those into your brain, it's like, I didn't look at it going, no, my content, you don't have the right. I looked at it as, cool, I got something to talk about on the podcast, like, because this is something that you wouldn't expect to happen from TikTok, and here we go. But I don't hold anything against TikTok with it. I get what they're trying to do. The only thing I do have a thing against is their live stream feature, because you have women who, not saying they're not allowed to use their body for views. I'm not saying that, because it's their body, they get that choice. But when you go on TikTok and you're scrolling and you're on the live feature, trying to find some of your guys who are there, and then all you see is from the bottom of your screen, a girl just bobbing back and forth with music going, you're like, and it stops you. I'm going, I bet she's just, doing it for views. No, I was there for a solid 2 minutes, so it worked. It made me capture in. And now I'm like, I'm going to read the chat. She's just doing some adult content on TikTok, and 2 in 1, I'm guessing. And I'm just like, okay, interesting TikTok. You can't say ding-a-ling, you can't say vagina, you can't say
You're
titties.
selling porn.
but you can be, but you can be getting it done. And you know what? I couldn't see all of it, and because she was being respectful, I'm guessing, or there's something you have to pay for it. I don't know, but she wasn't showing anything that would be classified as that, but you can tell what's happening. So that's the issues I have with TikTok. But once again, it's a place where I'm okay, you know what? If I don't like it, TikTok lets you hold down the video and it says not interested. Click not interested.
Really?
100%.
Huh.
You can do that with TikToks. If your stuff on there you're not interested in, you hold down on the video, it will give you a thing to report or not interested. Click not interested. Boom. And you know what? This girl had like 10,000 people in her stream too. So people were obviously interested in it. People obviously enjoy it. My worry is for a younger audience hopping on TikTok, because we do know there's a lot of kids out there who are on TikTok because it's a fun platform. That's what I'm concerned about.
I'm seeing freaking porn.
Exactly. And some kids might enjoy it, but I'm not bashing TikTok at all. Once again, I do understand it's their platform. They do what they want to do. I'm just saying maybe they need to do some tweaking.
Before that site becomes another porn site.
If the algorithm can look for certain cheeky behavior, is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how they could do it, but
here's a hard fact of life is that kids are going to be exposed to sexual imagery
100%.
in ways that have not been a problem in previous generations. But it's always been there as an issue, whether it's finding magazines under the bed, or it's even just like looking at the lifeguard in a way that one hasn't looked at people to prior.
You talking from experience?
The lifeguard, no.
Okay.
The magazine.
I am.
I've had no. I've had my own experiences, but I don't want to go. Here's the problem with TikTok is that there are limitations to what TikTok can do, but short of like being full-on puritanical Victorian era, you can only show ankles. Sooner or later, someone is going to find some way to entice people and then funnel them off of TikTok and onto Instagram, or even right directly to an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And so that's where the real issue is the fact that people are using TikTok as a way to market something clearly where they want people to be. I said that my YouTube channel is a hobby, but I still want to make content for it.
Yeah.
I do want people to get onto my YouTube because I know TikTok's not a moneymaker. Same with you. You want people on to funnel them into certain areas.
I use them to my advantage.
Yeah, exactly. So that part's fine. And in fact, I actually like that about TikTok because it takes the pressure off of trying to monetize it and just focus on entertaining people, building my profile, getting followers. I really appreciate that about TikTok. But they need to, if they care about this, they need to watch for people who are leading people to Instagram or leading to OnlyFans. It'll probably lead them to Instagram. They might want to just like disconnect that altogether because right now there isn't a direct integration with, and that might be a problem for them because Instagram is pretty loose with like their photography rules as well.
Yeah,
Instagram is more general, so it does appeal to adults as well. So yeah, it is a bit of a problem. And the last thing I'll say about it is the other side of this is full-on puritanicalism, where a kid doesn't so much as see like a foot for the first 10 to 15 years of their life. That's not healthy either.
No,
there does have to be some measured exposure throughout. So 100%. Like seeing someone in a swimsuit,
that kid it
does get the ball rolling
before.
So was that
Charles was bringing up the fact that that kid must have been to a beach and stuff before, because like that's what you would see in the public too. And it's not like put some clothes on, they're wearing what they need to wear to be out there. And there's a sensitive side, people might get too sensitive over what people are wearing and stuff like that. You're not wrong. Sorry, your mom dresses you still. That was a direct quote from James. Thank you, James, for that. He DM'd me. He wanted me to say it. Just had to.
He still got it.
He still got his cool little switches. But yeah, no. We're not bashing TikTok once again, but you know what? It is what it is. It truly is what it is. Now, But James did want to bring up something to bash about, and I told him, James, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't, James. But then here's a here's a quote. Ignoring that, here's a quote that James said, end quote. Let me cut to his screen. Guys, speaking of terrible things, did you know Google Stadia is rebranding themselves? Ha ha ha. Thanks, James. Thank you so much for that, man. Man, James, I miss you. Please come home. So, Google Stadia is now refurbishing their tech, is how you would pronounce it. Refurbishing their tech. Repurposing their tech in the Stadia technology and repurposing it to be white label the tech that powers the services for Google Stadia. What? Charles' mind is somewhere else. I swear. We talked about this. We told him about the birds and the bees, and this guy is just... He's out there, guys. He's out there. But... Joseph, would you like to proceed with the Google Stadia statement with a little bit of the article so we can get some actual kind of quotes down?
Sure. Let me read the first couple of lines here, and I will do this at a brisk but not too brisk a pace. Google is planning to repurpose its Stadia technology by partnering with companies to white label, and that's key, we want to keep that in mind, the tech that powers the tech giant streaming service, Business Insider reports. According to the outlet, the new partnership will be rebranded from Stadia to Google Stream. Several companies, including Capcom and Bungie, are among the companies expected to use the service. Bungie, which is set to be acquired by PlayStation, is exploring its own streaming platform. All right, so white labeling is when one brand takes a product manufactured by maybe another company or even by a warehouse somewhere in China and puts their label on it and sells it under their brand. You see this happen with perfumes. The certain celebrity doesn't want to like concoct a perfume from scratch, can white label a product that does work for them. Helps keep manufacturing costs down. So what that means is that the tech for Google Stadia, and I don't know if we're talking totally literally where the exact same, like, I guess, device that Google Stadia was. This is actually where you can help me fill in my blanks to this. So Google Stadia, it wasn't like a system you bought or anything like that. It was just like a subscription service that you would sign on to.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So they're repurposing that. They have the infrastructure to help other companies do streaming. Google obviously is, one of the biggest companies of all time, and they certainly have the means to do this. And this is kind of a nightmare, actually, because you remember what I was saying about with streaming services, and every single publisher is going to have their own streaming service. And how we're going to manage this? Is this going to be a free service and I pay for a certain amount of times? Am I going to have like 12 of these now for different people that I want to play with? Oh, God.
Like
oh, God. Oh, God.
Porn?
Say, what was that?
I'm just being random.
Hey, I was talking about subscriptions to porn. Like, bro, clean your brain. Come back once the camera's back to you, Joseph.
Yeah, well, if porn is a handy indicator, it's going to be up to people's individual willpower not to subscribe to multiple accounts.
Oh man, so
I'm in a mood today, guys.
we can all tell you're Tucker Dobbs over here.
You're channeling the energy of a squirrel. I don't know if you've noticed that, but a lot of your laughing is like...
Dude, if you know some karate moves, I would definitely ask you to start doing them because, oh my god, you could be a squirrel in action. But speaking of squirrely things, though, so Google Stadia is obviously, as we know, it's been kind of going downhill. And, okay, I can't say downhill. I'm saying repurposing themselves constantly to a point no one knows they exist anymore. And now I do like to see this, though, that they grabbed something that honestly should have just fizzled out and now they're trying to white label it and still make a profit out of it. I do like this, but like you said, now that opens the door for a lot more memberships and more streaming services and things like that. And Netflix has officially now continued to launch their gaming side, their gaming cloud services on their Netflix app. If you download Netflix on your app, you can see an area for games. There are a bunch of low budget games, like I'm saying low budget games, but like knockoff versions of Pac-Man or Floppy Bird or Tetris. Like you have those kind of games on there. So they're already starting to launch that out. It is still in.
Play Floppy Bird?
Are you asking if people still play it or?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100% people still play. I still play it. That's how I found out Netflix is doing that, is because I got bored one day.
Among Us on there?
I don't think so. I think they have to get a bigger license. We will actually bring up Among Us here in a little bit. But so with that news with Google Stadia, is this an official pretty much announcement that Google Stadia is officially putting themselves 6 feet down? Because once they officially have everything white labeled, and just if you get a pretty good description on it, is you can get something super manufacturer makes, let's say, I don't know, a keyboard. They make a keyboard, and when they are building it, they make it exactly the same except no logos or nothing. White labeling is so you can resell it, and so a company could put their logo on it, and now they make a profit. That's great. That makes a lot of people's careers and livings, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's why it's a thing.
It's like a pawn shop.
Honestly, no, because the pawn shop isn't putting their name on it. So this is literally me bringing a candle with no name to it, and then them putting Yankee Candle in the front. That is legitimately like the best example that I can give to white labeling. Is they're literally grabbing something that's there and putting a label on it for you, and you have full rights to sell it at whatever margins you want, whatever cost you want. You could take something that costs $20, buy it, and resell it for $10. It's a really bad financial move, terrible actually, but you can 100% do that, and it's totally legal. Kind of like eBay. Like you could buy something, price it up, put your logo on it. Like they do this with some shirt makers, some clothing makers. They do it as well. And I think what Google Stadia is trying to do is they're trying to sell that technology of what they can do with their platform that it wasn't successful. So I don't know how they're going to sell that technology, but they're trying to sell like pretty much all the answers. So let's say Netflix, before they did the game stuff, let's say they're trying to figure out how can we make this work? How can we make a gaming service that can grab it and put it into our app? It sounds like they're selling those answers to people and then letting them have the full name. So it's not Google, it's not Microsoft, it's Netflix that did it. And it sounds like that's what they're doing. Joseph, am I in the right playing field?
Yep.
Okay.
And so there's two things for me to say about it. Number one, because you were asking about, well, what will happen to Google Stadia? Yes. And what I think will be, I think the Google Stadia can exist at such a low cost that they can just keep it running in the background and not really like, most of the money that they've had to put into it was the investment and the development. And they're going to be able to recoup those losses and possibly even profit by just renting it out to other people now. So all in all, it turned out to be a pretty good way for Google to be resourceful with what they've done.
100%.
For Google Stadia, I think as this starts to build momentum, and you have to forgive me, Charles, sometimes I just need to like straight up ignore you.
No, keep going. You want to roll.
If for Google Stadia to continue to be relevant is as time goes on and more of these streaming services come out, Google Stadia will appear to be more of a viable option. More people are going to be coming into it. You have like Capcom fans who are going to cave because of their Street Fighter or Resident Evil. Nintendo fans will cave for something. Half-Life, whatever happens to Half-Life 3, people will cave.
Yep.
They cave for Half-Life 2 and as a result, Steam ended up being, the single biggest games distributor on all computers. Mm-hmm. So there's that. And the other side of it too, and this is a more broad reaching perspective on it, but from like an economics and from a even there's a slight political edge to this. It amuses me that big companies, the bigger they are, the more relevant they are to this example that they have to pay more in taxes, and that they have to contribute more money into the government, to give it to the Fed. But what's funny to me is that there is another way that big companies are pressured, which is they have to be the early adopters on technology, like streaming, like virtual reality. And early adoption it's a punishment, and no one like you almost never benefit from being an early adopter, whether you're from a consumer side or from a business side. Other people will always iterate and make better versions of it. So it's funny to me seeing the kind of the shit that big companies have to go through because they're expected to move into these new technology areas like Google, like Facebook. Yeah. They're expected to do virtual reality. They're expected to develop the metaverse. They're expected to develop streaming platforms. And if they don't, either that harms their reputation, or other companies who are inspired to do it will go ahead and beat them to it. And then Google or Facebook will have to buy out that technology or risk losing whatever market share they have or they potentially have in the future. So it sucks to be a big company. It sucks to succeed.
And no one sees those, and no one sees that insight either. Like they just see like Samsung bring back the flip phone. They don't see like the fact that Razer was literally right behind them. No one else sees that. The people who do see it are the big companies, because they're like, if we don't do this, where are we going to be? If we don't do this, will we be the number one? And unfortunately, as a massive billion-dollar company, you have to be number one. You have to try your best to keep it number one. And we can bring up examples like Apple right now. They have not been the number one phone for years now. And it's because that they're not trying to compete anymore with everything else. They're trying to really get deeper in the territory of, this is our name, this is our brand, and you're buying us for that. That's why they're trying to cancel out all these other companies trying to make everything available for everything else, is they're trying to make it to where they control their stuff. They get their web browsers, they get their games, they get their platform. They're trying to do it. But they aren't trying to be number one now. What, Charles?
They're also expensive as shit.
They are, but they're selling their name. They're selling their brand. They're selling their technology. But then you have Samsung, and then you have companies like Razer. They're trying to be first, and they're trying to be on top. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. And only thing we see as consumers is we see they're making two of the same phone. Let's see which one's better. That's all that we end up seeing. They're seeing everything like, we have to do this. If we don't do this, we will fail. And as a big company, you don't fail with, we lost $100, we lost $1,000. You fail by losing millions and millions. And those are huge numbers to look at. And if you fail, you don't just lose money, you also lose people coming back. And if they have a bad experience with something, guess what? They're not going back to you. These are massive companies, and people don't see it. If you had a bad experience at Target, guess what? You're not going back to Target. You're going to Walmart.
Like Call of Duty.
If you had a bad experience with Call of Duty, guess what? You're not going back to Call of Duty. It will take you something massive to bring you back. And finding that massive thing is like Google Stadia. Them trying to be like, okay, what can we do to do something with what we have? Call of Duty's losing their fan base. What is now they're going to do? Microsoft buys them. That made more people play Call of Duty right now than ever before. Especially these last 2 years. More people have been on Call of Duty right now since that happened. And it wasn't a massive big change like we're talking about with like Google Stadia and their next steps or what they had to do to get there. But it's to the point where like it shows you as a consumer, we don't care. We don't care about the stuff that's actually going on inside the company. We care about what we receive. But no, when it's all said and done though, I think this is a good step for Google because no matter what, they put a lot of time and a lot of effort into this. Makes sense for them to get something back out of it. And I honestly, congrats for them. They've been kind of the joke of the podcast for the last over a year now. So I'm happy to see that they're trying to do something with the platform they made, and selling out, white labeling the technology is a good way to get something out of it. So I honestly, good for them. But I'm worried about the subscription services. Like, I didn't realize I have over $100 in subscription services I pay every month, and it's terrifying. It's 100%
Really?
terrifying.
What from where? Like, where's it?
So I have 15 from Xbox. I have 15 from Netflix. I have my what is it? Hulu. I have my HBO Max.
There it is. There it is.
and-
You're subscribing to multiple TV services.
And I have to
at the
be
same
able to
time.
watch this stuff. I got Amazon Prime, the movie side, and then I got my Prime membership that is not the same anymore. So I got two different subscriptions there. I got a credit card subscription or a discount subscription I pay $11 a month for. It's like, you see all this stack up so quick, and you don't think about it until you go back through your taxes and go, this is a lot. This is a lot. So, but that makes sense why people want to keep subscription-based services going, because Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, HBO, that's 4 TV services, and I don't watch TV often. I watch like Too Hot to Handle. I watched 10 episodes. It took me over a month to do so. Like it
Now
just
there's Paramount with the Halo series.
yeah, and you know what? Are you going to pay a subscription for it? Yes. That's how they get you. They give you something you want. So I'm terrified of more subscriptions, honestly. And we're going to do some watch parties once I get my internet fixed. So at least we get some benefits. So maybe
They haven't
go ahead. If they ever remastered what?
I'm just gonna say that if they ever remastered the multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2, I would legit go back to playing Call of Duty again and play that freaking constantly.
They could. Activision has a second chance, to say the least, to kind of step back up to the plate. Biggest thing they got to do is fix hackers, fix any kind of cheaters on there, and I think that goes for everyone. I think that goes for all the companies out there. Battlefield has announced recently that they're going to be cleaning out their servers and doing some caps, but they already knew because of data leaks that happened that there was going to have a bunch of hackers in. They knew it was going to happen, and now they're taking the preps to deal with it. Call of Duty knew this been happening. I'm saying Call of Duty. Activision knew it's been happening. They refused to do anything about it. And you have Halo, who did not have this worry, and it happened so quick. So a lot of places need to start getting their stuff together to kind of stop that. Or maybe we pay a subscription service and we could just stop having hackers. CSGO, look at CSGO. You pay a subscription service and you don't get hackers.
It's sad when Destiny 2 has a freaking anti-cheat for the shit that deals with these hacker assholes.
Hey, Bungie's on top of it. Maybe Bungie knows something we don't. Maybe
I love how in all of this,
Yeah,
the Dark
actually have a
Souls
live
series,
service
they
to
just
them at different
they're so
times.
hardcore. They just embrace the hackers. Like, oh yeah, we get hackers in all the time. They're some of the best boss battles of the game, and they still beat the hackers too, which is funny to me.
that's awesome. That's actually awesome. See, like, it's good to have from time to time. Hackers are good. They make some good content though. 100%.
Something I heard I've seen people actually talk about, and honestly I think would be cool, is that they did something with Call of Duty like they did with the Master Chief Collection for Halo. Just take a bunch of Call of Duties, put them in one huge collection, and just figure shit out from there.
I would love that to happen. I don't see it happening. Yeah, go ahead. I might bite my tongue really bad.
I like where you're. What was that?
I said I might bite my tongue really bad because I want to say nasty stuff about the Call of Duty or why they're not doing it, but I want you to go ahead with
Got it.
trolls.
So I like where you're going with this. It's a lot of games to collect. Even at this point, the Halo Master Chief Collection doesn't have all of them. But what would
1,
be
2, 3, reach ODST 4. The only one's out on the
five
collection
and
is
five?
Infinite.
Halo Infinite, wasn't there like didn't Halo 5 not get included in that collection?
Not yet.
Neither
You know,
does
yet.
Halo Wars.
Halo Wars, and then okay. Anyways, so let me just say, collecting all the Call of Duties can be a challenge, but you know it would be really cool. A greatest hits, where it's all of like the best missions from all of the different Call of Duties. So you jump into World War II, you jump into Modern Warfare, maybe something from that like Advanced Warfare was pretty dope, just to like spice things up.
Mhm.
Now that would be a
Black
Call of
Ops.
Duty I would love to buy if it's just like all these awesome battles from all of these different games, and then as a continuation of that, the multiplayer is like a best of as well. So it'd be like Call of Duty Legacy or something like that. That would be pretty cool. I would be down for that.
I could like to see just like what they have, like they did with they were doing with Call of Duty Online, where like they have all the weapons from all the Call of Duties, including each version of like the M4, the ACR, the Scar 8, the freaking AK. Freaking, I know that AK is pretty much the same gun, just with different looks. That they have to change how the AK looks in like every Modern Warfare game, but you know what I mean. I feel like it would just be something that I'd like to see. I'd like to see guns from like the Modern Warfare trilogy, along with the Black Ops series and the freaking and Call of Duty Ghosts together. And freaking, I'd like to see if we can see like people using Modern Warfare guns against the freaking Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare, freaking laser guns or some shit.
See, I don't think that would be possible because they keep buffing, nerfing everything else. I feel like we would never get to live another day of constantly seeing, oh, this week this got buffed, this got nerfed, this is new meta, this is not. But I love you guys' ideas kind of combined, like, but only take the Halo or the Call of Duty campaigns and like the Modern Warfare series. Take that, shove it all into one kind of game ordeal, like Halo Master Chief Collection. You go on there, you can select your games. Love the idea of doing something like that. And then the Black Ops series, you shove that in. Boom, another $60 worth. Boom, Modern Warfare, another $60 worth. Boom, Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, you got another one worth it. And you can start kind of doing stuff like that. And then I can see a multiplayer format kind of opening up to where they can focus on one and then do, okay, let's focus on trying to make this multiplayer now. But first, focus on the campaign, put the zombies in, boom. Campaign, zombies, boom. Campaign, zombies, boom. And then start working on multiplayer. That could be something that could save Call of Duty perspective. Because I would do that if they made a Black Ops bundle, a Call of Duty Black Ops bundle, and they let me play all the zombies with the new servers, all new, all the campaigns, and the one, I would do that. And then eventually in the future, be like, let's make some multiplayer. Make something like that happen. I know they couldn't combine all of them because, once again, we'll be dealing with nerfs, buffs, glitchy equipment, especially when you get into Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare. They have the same things, as different names and different actions, because finding out people can fly, people don't like that. So you would just have a bunch of issues with it. But I feel like if they were able to do that, especially with the campaign and zombies, or Joseph brought this up a while ago in the podcast, just make nothing but a zombie Call of Duty Zombies, and literally just put the best zombie modes and the best zombie maps in one, and then going, boom, $60 game right there. You'd have people like me, you would have people like you, all go out and buy it, 100%.
I just put all the freaking guns from every Call of Duty that's ever been made freaking in it.
See, that was more possible. That was more possible, but, I mean, it would just be an kind of ordeal. Like,
I know I'm the only one here who's played the Division, especially since I played the Division beta, freaking that was a hoot.
yeah, I know.
Freaking-
Did you get your?
I'd like to
Did
see,
you get
like,
your
Call of
iconic
Duty.
beanie?
Don't remind me. I'd like to see something like a Call of Duty, but it's the Division.
I honestly
Not-
don't know much about Division. I have no idea what the game even is. I remember like the look of like the poster, I guess is what it was. I remember that, but I don't really remember what all happened in Division.
Just imagine freaking Tom Clancy, but freaking Gears of War.
Okay.
That's actually pretty accurate.
Okay. I'm gonna search it up later and then give you a massive compliment if that's pretty damn right.
Here's a passing thought for you as well. This is just like a take home nugget, but if you look at the pricing for video games, it's been pretty consistent across quite a few console generations. I'd say Nintendo 64. I remember paying like $60, maybe $70. Same as for like new games now. A little closer to 80 now, but
yeah.
It's been within like that 70 to 80 range. But A, inflation, and B, the amount of resources that it takes to put out a new AAA game has also increased over time. So gamers have been getting a pretty good deal in the long run because it's just not marketable to increase the price of a game. People just they can't stand the idea of a $90 price tag before tax.
Mm-hmm.
The downside is
thinking-
the content is taking a hit because of DLC and microtransactions and new ways to try to monetize the service. So
Yep.
everyone's losing.
I would just like to see some of these freaking newer games that come out every year freaking actually work at launch and aren't broken pieces of shit.
See, I think if they just took more time, because remind you once again, we weren't getting games every year. It was taking a hot minute to get a new game of something out. Now we did have some titles, like I knew Call of Duty was trying to still put one out like every year. But we did have like Resident Evil, for an example. They would take like a 3-year span, stop and work on one. And when they came out, they didn't have bugs really. There were some things that needed fixed or added onto it, but it was playable. And they did proper beta testings. They did proper demos. They did the right steps for it. And that's why when those kind of games come out, we don't have as many bugs and as many issues because they actually took the time and did it. But I blame us, the consumers. We rush it. We wanted a game out. We wanted Halo out. We rushed it, and now we don't get to play multiplayer on the campaign. We rushed it. That's our fault. We were getting on to them because they kept pushing back their dates, and people worried it was going to be a Cyberpunk situation. It wasn't, thank God. But now we're anal because we don't have the multiplayer for the campaign because we consumers rushed it. And so I think a lot of it has to do with us, not the companies. Because the companies don't listen to us. Now the company looks bad going, they don't listen to their audience. They don't listen to their fans. But it's our faults. So I just want that to also be stated. As like, even though I do agree the companies need to stop making buggy games, but we need to stop rushing it. And remember that luckily we don't have to go to our local GameStop at midnight or at 2 a.m. just to maybe get the game. Like, you know, we literally get the hit download, it downloads, and then whenever it releases, it says ready to play. That's
The
amazing.
3 games I've played that actually worked when they at launch when I played them and haven't had really any issues in my experience. Brilliant Diamond, that one of the most recent Pokemon games. I played that the second freaking I was able to when it launched at slightly after midnight. Borderlands 2 pretty much worked from the second pop that some bitch and freaking my Xbox, and
Yep.
that's still one of my favorite games. And I think what was the other one? And Red Dead Redemption 2. That game freaking we had to wait. People had to wait for years for that game, and freaking I don't remember anybody complaining about that game besides the freaking online multiplayer, which is nothing new.
But like right there, you just literally nailed the hammer. Is it took years for them to make it. No one complained about it, but now our attention spans only last 30 seconds. A TikTok satisfies us because it's quick, it's fast, it booms through. Now we can't wait 3 years for a game. If they announce it, we're like, we need it now. So now companies are like, ew, if we announce a game, we have to deliver now. Like, so.
It's easy to wait for things if you're poor.
Borderlands.
Yeah, it's so easy to wait for things when you're poor.
Yeah, like I'm doing okay, but the next Zelda game, it can take all the sweet time it needs.
Jordan,
You know, I looked.
Sorry, Joseph. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I thought that Call of Duty initially started as like every few years, and then once momentum started picking up, they started annualizing
I think
it.
that was it, but I wasn't sure.
Well, I looked it up.
Okay.
So Call of Duty was first released on Windows, Mac OS, the Nokia N-Gage, PS3, and Xbox 360 in 2003.
Okay.
Call of Duty 2 came out in 2005. And then every year since then, until this year with Vanguard, a Call of Duty game has come out every year. So 2004 was the only year since Call of Duty first launched that didn't have a title released in that year. Infinity Ward, the lead developer, did the first one. They did the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, doing a direct sequel, doing Call of Duty 2, that's totally realistic because they already had the engine, they had some of the assets. They could just, okay, well, now we just make another.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask came out in like a year after Ocarina of Time, so it's totally expected and rather encouraged to reutilize the assets before they age too far and you have to start over with a new engine.
Mhm.
So
Literally every Call of Duty up until Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 was basically the same World War II game.
yeah, and maybe
Pretty
and the
much
people were
pure
saying that they were saying, yeah, I think we've seen enough of this whole World War II shtick. And so
I mean, we're freaking
Treyarch
Black Hawk
was the
Down.
developer for the third one,
Mhm.
and since then they alternated between Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and then Advanced Warfare in 2014 was the first one with Sledgehammer, and now they rotate every 3. This is what makes Call of Duty actually somewhat immune to the annualization. It does release with problems, but every developer gets a 3-year window to finish their game.
Yeah.
3 years is good. It's all of these other publishers that have tried to annualize their titles, and in doing so, stretched their resources too thin because they weren't Call of Duty, they weren't Activision. I am going
weren't
to look up
massive
Activision.
companies.
Sorry, I'm going to look up Assassin's Creed because I want to see what their release window looked like.
Jordan, he's
Okay.
doing that. Borderlands 3 came out in 2019, didn't it?
No, 2020.
Okay.
Let
I
me
was just-
let
I
me let me
forgot.
look. Let me look. But why you ask?
I'm just wondering because it took them only 3 years to come out with Borderlands 2, and that's still the best Borderlands that's come out. And pre-sequel was a pile of dog shit, freaking, but I still want to finish playing that with you so I can show you why freaking I gripe on that game so much. But between 2012 and pre-sequel doesn't even count as an actual freaking Gearbox made Borderlands. It was made by 2K Australia. But between 2012 and whatever year freaking Borderlands 3 came out, we didn't get shit as far as Borderlands is concerned, besides the Tales games. But then we got Borderlands 3 in freaking whatever year it came out. We all know how that game turned out.
Amazing. I loved it.
Besides the DLC.
I mean,
I liked it
guys-
too. The freaking, I was playing it majority of the time by myself, and I got bored. It was just tedious and everything after a while, you know.
Oh, I get it. Now, personally, I loved it. But real fast, Joseph have our answers here.
So Assassin's Creed, what year? This is a quiz for you both. What was the first year Assassin's Creed came out?
2006.
2006.
It says here 2007, but I'll give it a pass because
I love how we both like assumed 2006.
yeah, you guys didn't work as a team there. Not gonna lie.
Sorry, Dad.
It's okay. It's okay. I wish I had a snappy response for that, but I don't.
okay.
So between the mainline releases and the spin-offs, and Assassin's
God
Creed
knows
came
there's
out
so
every
many
year.
of them.
2007, 2008, 2 in 2009, 10, 11, 2 in 12, 2 in 13, 2 in 14, 2 in 15, 3 in 2016, 2 in 17, 2 in 18, and then Assassin's Creed Valhalla in 2020. So nothing happened in 2019. Nothing's happened in 2021. Pandemic might have had something to do with that. But that is a lot of Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is the kind of series that the more games they release, the less I want to play it. If it was like once every 5 years, and these were pristine, triple A, quadruple A, centuple?
You know what the crazy
5
thing is?
A's in a row, capitalized kind of games, I think that would actually help them market the game more and not less. I think a
100%,
lot
yeah.
of these games do not work when you annualize them.
Yeah,
You know what the
definitely.
cra-
Go
You know what
ahead,
the
Charles.
crazy thing is? Some of those Assassin's Creed games that came out in the same year, around the same time, freaking actually all tied together.
I believe that.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
definitely all tied together. I mean, they're supposed to be tied together, but I think too many people try to get as much out as they can, but they lose so much. They put quantity over quality. And I think it shows for the Assassin's Creed games, personal opinion, because all the mechanics are the same. They get cool new outfits, they get cool new moves to do, different styles of gear. But I think it's one of the situations where they just put so much on quantity over quality, and it shows, especially for the newer ones that released. It really showed then. Back before in 2007, amazing. Like that was honestly like you thought about it and you went, oh my god, that was insane. And you wanted that other one, you got it. You wanted the next one, you got it. And after so long. Like I'm gonna say like 2012. It just wasn't there. It really wasn't. The excitement for it really hasn't been there. So
Yeah, because shooters, they never get old. It's just shooting people in the
yeah.
face is just one of those things that human beings just enjoy doing.
yeah.
And luckily we have.
Thanks,
but
America.
The Assassin's Creed game, well, you know, I can credit where it's due. I mean, Russia deserves some credit here. A few other countries too, but we'll leave it there. Shout out to Australia, by the way, for fighting the emus and being such good sports about it that they reported that they lost the war on emus. It's one of my favorite stories. Go look if you want to look it up. Just Australia versus emus.
Oh.
The emus won. I just love Australia. It was like, well, hey, fair is fair. They got us.
They outnumbered our men. Sorry.
Should have just started thinking army of kangaroos after him.
I think the kangaroos are on the emu side.
That's like Pandora's box. Once you open up that then there's no going back.
Yeah.
God. So anyway, so my point is that Assassin's in terms of gameplay, I know what I'm gonna get if I buy a bunch of Call of Duties because the campaign, a bunch of missions, some of them I like, some of them I won't. Multiplayer is where it's actually more redundant for me because okay, I'm not gonna play through the multiplayer for a bunch of these. Who cares? And then the zombies would be a nice distraction. It works. With the Assassin's Creed, what am I about to like get like 18 different games, all of them where I sneak around and stab people in the back? Is that all I'm getting out of it? No, come on, it would have been better. Sorry, you know, because one of these days I'm going to run into one of the developers of Assassin's Creed, and you know I'm not going to be talking these gears. Like I'm not going to be like this. I'm going to be like, oh yeah, no, your game series is great. Oh, you got one coming out. Oh, great. Like I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that guy, but.
You're stating an opinion that you're seeing in front of you.
Yeah, and you know, that's the kind of series, and I bring the series up a lot because I love the premise. It's a series that I would like to get into, but the cost of entry is just so daunting. It counter markets the game for me when there's that many of them.
Yeah. I definitely 100% agree. And to kind of bounce back to like Charles and his Borderlands series, I mean, they only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. If you go, I want to start playing the Borderlands, you have 8 games to go through. That's it. Assassin's Creed.
That's both versions of 1. That's 1, the remastered version of 1, 2, pre-sequel, 3, and freaking and the Tales game.
Yeah, and so now, Charles, to kind of bounce back to what we originally talked about. So the original Borderlands released in 2009, and then from 2009, they decided to release Borderlands 2 in 2012. So they took 3 years to make that a really good, successful game. And then 2 years later, they made the pre-sequel. 1 year later, they made the Handsome Jack Collection. Actually, the same year they did Tales from the Borderlands. I'm pretty sure it's kind of self-explanatory. Then did the Handsome Jack Collection. And from the Handsome Jack Collection, that's where they kind of course, they did the year edition, stuff like that. But then they took from the Handsome Jack collection in 2015 to 2019, so 4-year gap, to make Borderlands 3. But right now, we now see them going from Borderlands 3, once again jumping to another 3 years to make Teen Titans Wonder World. And that's
after they released that freaking sprint, that one-off adventure, which is basically they took the.
But that's just a DLC. Like that's really all that is. It's a DLC, and any company should release those relatively like that. But you look at these companies, and the games aren't glitchy. They're taking their time, but everyone wants to be the one getting the most content out there. But you lose a lot when you do that. And I think that's kind of where we're all kind of coming to is when you start a new game series, you don't want to play it going, cool, if I really want to get into this, there's a lot to go through, but you also don't want to go into it. Like Call of Duty is great because if you're like, I really want to get into a shooter game with my friends, Call of Duty, boom, there you go. Like you can get into that. You can start playing with them, all that. Assassin's Creed, you can't play the 4th one. You can't play the 8th one. You can't play the 5th one without wondering what happens beforehand. So you want to start where it all began, and you can't do that because you sit down and going, okay, and then you just get a stack of games going, okay, I got to do this. It's like watching the Star Wars trilogies with achievements. That's all it is, and it's a madhouse. It really is. And no hate to Star Wars. I'm just saying it's a long series. But there's certain games that companies do a great job. Spyro, Zelda, Pokemon. You get those games that make sense on why they're the way they are and how they can release so much.
It's funny you mentioned Zelda. I pulled up Zelda because I wanted to.
It should be every 2
analyze it.
years.
So, I mean, now mind you, Zelda's been around since the NES. So, 1986, 1987, Legend of Zelda was released, and then Adventure of Link in 1987, 1991, A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, 93, so 2 years there.
Okay.
Another one doesn't come out until 1998, so that's 8, 7, 6, 5 years. Ocarina of Time and then Majora's Mask 2 years later, so it was 2 years, not one, but frankly, a year and a half. Then the Oracle games, 2001, Four Swords and the Wind Waker in 2002, Twilight Princess, Phantom Hourglass, 2006, 2007, Spirit Tracks, 2009, and I'm not going to go through the rest. I want to take up the whole time, but that game series, it fluctuates. Like there's like peaks and valleys where a main one comes out, so there's going to be a lot of interest, and they usually try to have a couple of spin-offs and side games around that same time just to keep interest more and more in line with that high level enthusiasm, and then it calms down, and then it then it goes to the backseat for a little bit while, and then they think, what do we want to do next? Where do we want to push the series? What do we want to try? Very rarely is there like a game where the mechanics are so similar, or the engine is so similar. Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are the same engine. I think the Game Boy Color games all had the same engine because it's, I think, one engine basically made every Game Boy game.
I know a lot of the Game Boy Advance Pokemon games are practically the same thing, just different regions with newer Pokemon and stuff like that, and different characters.
Yeah, but hey, at least in Pokemon, it is iterative. So like, hey, every new wave of Pokemon adds to the existing amount of Pokemon already there. So at least it's about like world building, and hey, there's always going to be more Pokemon to discover. There's going to be more regions to discover. So yeah.
Certain versions just get either more games are in, like the black and white ones. They freaking got Black and White 2, which was basically a continuation and just another take on what happened in the original. Same with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
I'm so old. I played those games when they actually were in black and white.
Nice.
Then you also have
Pokemon.
Pokemon Platinum, freaking that was basically the best of Diamond and Pearl put together on the same game with some new stuff in it.
That was just good marketing right there. That was amazing marketing for them.
Same with Pokemon Emerald, which is basically Ruby and Sapphire.
But people bought them, and it worked for them.
Pokemon Emerald is still one of my favorite games.
So we've been going for a hot minute. I've been so dived into these conversations, it's not even funny. So we don't want to kill up too much more time. This went by so quick. So last thing I think we should all kind of state is, what are your feelings? Should game developers take more time and add an extra year on, or whatever time they need, or should we get one as soon as possible?
I think companies should take as much time as they need to make something that doesn't have a million freaking issues and actually works at launch and actually pleases their fan base, so they don't end up having a Cyberpunk situation happening.
Okay, Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, how could anyone disagree? Like, no, people really are not benefiting from having this much content. Now, I do understand, and I'm doing my best here to come up with a counterpoint. I do understand if a company does not want to fall out of the spotlight, because it does cost a lot of money and a lot of resources to market something for that product, for that property to fade away from the market. You know, not everybody gets to be Zelda. Not everybody gets to have this legacy of enthusiastic fans who will do your marketing for you in the meantime. So for that reason, it's important for developers to come out with more modular content. Like, you know, what you're describing with GTA. So again, coming back to Assassin's Creed, because this is a series that I would like to like,
100%.
I just don't, is if they, over time, they would release missions taking place in different areas. So in that way, they can constantly work on it, market it. Every 3 to 6 months, a new level comes out and it expands on the story. But you have one Assassin's Creed for the majority of the console life cycle.
Yeah.
And to really make new releases, not just an expense, and not just for people, it's going to feel like paying a bill. It shouldn't be like that. It should be a celebration, a chance to move forward with the game series. So figure out a way to stay relevant, because I know that's important. Make your content modular so that people can support it in increments, but save your main releases for when there's a really good reason to move on to the next one, because more often than not, a sequel will invalidate the previous iterations. There are very few exceptions to this rule, and trying to become one of those exceptions can be a significant risk to your long-term well-being.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with all of it. I mean, I like I've stated many times, I believe game developers should take their time, whatever's necessary. But like how this conversation originated is everyone's trying to be the one up there first. Everyone's trying to be there. It's what it is. And speaking of that, James, your final opinions on this? Couldn't have said it better myself. Okay.
So something like Destiny 2, where they just release a DLC at least once every few months at one point, and then they've been doing a seasonal thing. Now they last like 6 months per season, then they release a big expansion after a while.
Yeah. And that works for them. That honestly does. But we kind of went on a little rant there. I wouldn't say rant. I would just say we had a conversation. And we would love to hear you guys' opinions, but it's getting about that time. So let's go ahead and sell ourselves out. Charles, where can the wonderful people find you?
If you want to see somebody who's going to be doing a lot of Destiny 2 stuff when the new expansion comes out here in a couple of weeks, and if you want to see somebody geeking out for wrestling stuff and NASCAR stuff, then you can go find that crap, and or me raging at freaking stuff. You can find that stuff at my YouTube channel, which is CG the Lone Wolf, which is at like almost 130 subs as I speak.
Girl, let's
yeah.
go. Let's go. Okay, so that is CJ the Lone Wolf. Joseph, where can the lovely audience find you?
Feel free to go to giantenemycompany.com. It's spelled the way you think.
There's no mis-sayings from Google or anything like that?
Nope, giantenemycompany.com. It's spelled the way you think.
You know what? I like that slogan. You should actually put that on like a header or something like that. It's spelled the way you think. That's great. Hey, guess what, James? You want to be a sellout? No, Jordan. I love you. Oh, wait, I love you so much. Yeah, you take over. Oh, thanks, James. Oh my God. Guys, James not here. He's still getting milk. But you can find me over at Skull Hunter Games, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, whatever you find me at. Skull Hunter Games. We do everything. Pretty much. If you don't get a laugh, I'm sorry. Get a receipt. I'm funny as can be. I'm a comedian. And then if you want to find out where this podcast is, it is Skull Hunter Podcast, anywhere you find your podcast from. iTunes, Spotify, it's really none of our business, as James would say. And thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the podcast. Anchor is an all-in-one neat podcast platform. You can either go to anchor.com or you can download the Anchor app. It's totally up to you. I highly recommend it. They've helped us out so many times. They actually still help us out to this day with the sponsors and also with the software itself. That's how you can edit in your ads to make sure you get those crystal clear audio tracks. Make sure you check them out. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the podcast. And guys, that was another successful podcast. Thank you, James, for joining. Woo! Without further ado, goodbye, everybody! Wow!
It's still somehow the only collector's edition of the game.